Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve Raiken here with the Raiken Profit YouTube channel. And in today's video, I wanted to talk with you guys about how to make money selling clothing on eBay during the fall months. So we've just transitioned into fall. It's getting a little bit colder, and people are looking for clothing that's going to keep them a bit warmer. So it's a great opportunity for you to go out to places like thrift stores, garage sales, even locally, Craigslist, any of your local platforms, and start acquiring some of these items that are in demand. Now, a common question I get is, Steve, if it's springtime or summer, the fall or winter clothes sell, and vice versa. If it's fall and winter, can I still sell spring and summer clothes? And the answer to that is yes. And the reason is because when you're selling on a platform like eBay, you're selling to people all over the country, all over the world. But with that being said, if it is springtime or if it is fall time, there's obviously going to be more people looking for those items. So it all comes down to supply and demand. Typically, you could get more money for those items because there's more people looking, which drives the price up. And quite often you could sell them a little bit quicker. So I actually spent the last about 30 minutes going through some of the eBay sold listings and kind of plucking out some interesting clothing items and brands that I've done well with in the past, and brands that if you come across them at the right price after doing research, I would definitely pick them up and put them on eBay to sell them. So before we dive into this video, I want to shout some people out. So let me take a look in the comments. We got KJ Carter in the house. What's going on, KJ? Good to see you. Laura Weekland, what's up? How was your weekend, Laura Weekland? That rhymes. I like it. We got Rosie's Closet. What's going on? Arbitrage Architect. What's up? What's up? And we have Jerry in the house. So I will be peeking in at the comments periodically to answer your guys' questions. AG Video Games, what's up? Hey, Deb. Good to see you, Deb. Appreciate you guys. So yeah, I mean, it's a great time right now to start picking up some clothing to put on eBay. And I just want to go over some items with you. So you should be able to see my screen right now. And the first item I want to talk about is the brand Under Armour, and specifically these Under Armour sweatshirt hoodies that you come across that have the big Under Armour logo. They do really, really well. Now, this is a more current one, sold for $42.95. All these items I share with you are going to be buy it now, pre-owned from the United States, but this one sold for $42.95. It definitely does look a little more current just based on the style and everything. But take a look at that big Under Armour logo. I've sold these things several times and they always sell really, really well. You're not always going to get 30 or 40 bucks. A lot of times you'll get $20, $25 for them. But if you can pick them up for $5 or less, you can definitely make money with this specific item in the Under Armour brand. And in general, Under Armour is a very fast seller. It's very popular. Again, look for any Under Armour items that have the logo on it, especially if it's a really big logo. Bright colors seem to do really, really well. But Under Armour carries a lot of different types of items and specific styles. But you can't go wrong with Under Armour in the fall, winter time, even during the spring and summer. I wear a lot of workout stuff that's Under Armour. So it's definitely a brand that does very well. Next up is the brand Woolrich. Okay, if you're brand new to selling clothing and you've never heard of this brand before, it does very well, especially if you find something that's vintage and a little bit older. You can just typically tell based on how it looks. Like, for example, this one right here, it looks like somebody would have wore this in like the 60s or 70s or maybe the 80s, maybe on a farm or outside. Really cool. It's got the double front pockets. This is going to be 100% wool. And you can definitely tell that this is old just based on the tag. The more experience you'll have, the easier it'll be able to determine what's a little older and what's newer. The newer Woolrich stuff doesn't tend to do that well. So look for the stuff that's 100% wool. Look for the checks and plaid design. Woolrich is known to have these bright red colored items that are vintage, and it's sold for $55.86. It's vintage. It's the right time of the year. It's a double extra large, and it's, the signature red and black checks and plaids color right here. So you can't go wrong with something like this. Hey, what's up, Michael S? We got Florida in the house. Anita from Orlando. What's going on, Anita? I might be going to Orlando next week. All right. Next up is a brand named Lacoste. So we all are familiar with Lacoste. If not, it's a very popular brand with younger kids, teenagers, but even adults. You'll find Lacoste dress shirts. You want to look for the little crocodile alligator logo that's on the front of the shirt. Sometimes you'll come across Lacoste items that don't have the logo, that don't have the little crocodile, and it will negatively impact the value of the item. Now, this one sold for $39.99 right here, and I'm going to talk to you about why I think it sold for so much. Number one, it's a double extra large. Bigger clothing items always tend to do better. So if you have a clothing item that's the exact same, but one of them's a small and one of them's a 2 extra large, 90% of the time you're going to get more money for the bigger item, right? Especially if you, if you're selling to people in America, there's more bigger people than smaller people. So the bigger stuff always has more of a demand, which again is going to drive up the price. In addition, I love the orange accents, not only going around the collar, but down the shoulders, but you have the orange patches alongside the elbows. So it's a really cool rugby polo shirt right here. Lacoste as well. Again, really anything Lacoste, if it has the logo, will do really, really well. But this is something a little weird. It's unique. It's different. It's not as common as the traditional polo shirt or the long sleeves dress shirt, which will still sell well, $20 to $30. But something like this, just different, unique, $39.99 plus $7.25 shipping. This is 100% cotton. Love the contrast and color right here. Just a really cool item that somebody in the fall time would want to wear while playing some rugby or some type of outdoor sport. So definitely a cool item right here. The measurements are included. If you're wondering what measurements should I include if I'm selling a long sleeve shirt, you definitely want to include the chest from the armpit to the armpit. The sleeves are very important. And, I would include the length, which is from usually the top of the shoulder down to the hem of the shirt. And then the shoulder measurement, which is kind of around the rotator cuff where the seam meets down to the hem of the shirt as well. So those are 4 measurements that I would include. Some people include the waist measurement, but I usually don't unless I'm selling like a blazer or a sport coat. So Lacoste, definitely an awesome brand. Next up, I found a lot of 5 Patagonia items. These are all extra large classic button down dress shirts that sold for $49.90. Now, if you ever come across a bunch of a specific brand, maybe for example, you came across 5 Patagonias, just like this example right here. You've got 2 options, right? Option number 1 is to lot them all together like this fellow did and sell it, or you can sell it individually. Now, there's some pros and cons to both strategies. If you lot it all together, you're going to save time, you're going to save on shipping, and you're only selling to one seller, so you only have one transaction. So you'll typically get a little less money, but you'll save time, you'll get rid of it quick. And let's just say you spent maybe $2 each, right? Maybe you went to a Salvation Army, picked them all up cheap. You end it for $10. I mean, you could make a 300% ROI on your money really, really quick. Now, if you were to part it out or sell them individually, typically get more money, probably about twice as much money, I would guess, on these items right here, $20, $25 each. But again, if you're selling it as a lot, you have to find one specific buyer who wants, all of them. Not everybody wants 5 Patagonia shirts. So you will get more money, but it's going to take you more time to sell. So that's really up to you and your business model and how much inventory you have. But I've definitely lotted things up. But again, you're typically going to take a little bit of a hit, maybe anywhere between 15 upwards to 50% of a hit, discounted price, just because you're selling so many of one item and not everybody wants that many. A lot of people are just looking for 1 or 2 shirts possibly. So $49.90 plus $12.99 shipping right here. I want to know in the comments, what would you folks do if you came across these 5 Patagonia long sleeve shirts? Would you sell it as a lot or would you sell it individually? Let's see. Steve, let's do a meetup next week with Casey, Ryan, and Allie if you come to Orlando. Yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys you know, in the loop if that ends up going through. Looks like we got some people in the comments talking about books. That's awesome. Jerry says, Steve, I really want to thank you for your advice on where to look at library sales. You said to go down to the boxes when the others are scouting tabletops. I remember that and got the edge. That's awesome. Yeah, it's the same thing. You know, when you're at the thrift stores, always look at the bottom or look at the top because most people are lazy and they're just going right through the, you know, the middle section. So if you got to bend down, if you got to stretch, if you have to reach behind, if you have to move something, same thing with clothing, right? You're gonna find more deals. The people who go through all the racks, that go through all the books, that go digging down deep, those are the ones who at times find the treasure. So congratulations, Jerry. Let's see what people are saying about this Patagonia lot. Man, we got Fritz Stell in the house watching from Rotterdam, Netherlands. Holy moly. Good to see you guys here. Hey, Nana, good to see you from Orlando as well. So I'll wait for some comments to come in, but I want to share with you guys this really cool item. This would be an awesome item to sell right now in the fall or winter. This actually just recently sold from Normal, Illinois. And this is a vintage 80s Adidas Olympic sweatshirt. Okay. Be on the lookout for Adidas items that are old and vintage. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, how do I know if it's old or vintage? Usually the color scheme is going to be very bright. It's going to be vibrant. There could be a whole bunch of stuff going on in that item. It just looks, I don't know how to say it, but just go on to the eBay sold listings and look up 70s, 80s, or especially 80s and 90s stuff within Ralph Lauren and Adidas. It just has that specific look. This is a cool item right here. Now, I don't know much about the Olympics and all this stuff, but it sold for $199.95. So if you ever come across anything really weird, really unique, again, you don't have to be the most knowledgeable. I certainly am not when it comes to this stuff. But just know when you're going through a clothing rack, find something weird like this, take 2 seconds to go into the eBay sold listings and look it up. Essentially, if I found this and I didn't know what it was, I would pull out my phone, I would go to the eBay app and I would type in Adidas, and then I would type in, you know, some of the words that I see on the sleeve, and I would try to find a similar one and then go to sold listings. That's all you have to do. You don't have to have knowledge of the Olympics or if it's vintage or not. You just need to learn how to spot it, okay? That's the cool thing about selling clothing on eBay, especially vintage stuff and, you know, rare stuff like this that you're going to find in the Adidas brand or even Tommy Hilfiger or Ralph Lauren. You don't have to know it all, but it's just really cool. $199 right here. I mean, imagine going through a clothing rack and popping on this for $3. That's cool. That's like a car payment. Next up, I want to share with you a brand that I am not knowledgeable about. You know what's funny? I've been selling clothing for 5-6 years now, studying the sold listings for years. I love it. It's fun, not only by myself just to learn, but doing these sold listings videos. And I always come across a brand that I just don't recognize. Maybe I've heard of this in the past and forgot about it. You know, repetition is the, you know, the key to success. This brand is called Untuck It. Have any of you guys ever heard this brand? Now, I wouldn't just bring this brand up if I only saw it sold once, but when I was going through the sold listings over the last half hour, I mean, I saw 5, 6, 7 of these things that had sold. Untuck It. So we have a dress shirt, right? And obviously it's long sleeve, really nice to sell during the fall and winter months. I mean, it doesn't look like anything special to me. I don't know much about it, but this is a brand that you're going to want to, you know, keep in consideration right here. Take a look at that tag. Untuck It, large, slim fit, 100% cotton. I mean, it's even made in China. $49.95, and the seller is money can buy you everything. I love that. With over 1,600 positive feedback, coming in at 99.8% positive feedback. Looks like the measurements are included. Size large. Chest is 21.5 inches across, 29-inch length, and 25.5 inch is measuring the sleeve. Excellent condition. Very cool item right here. I'm not sure. You know, Deb says no, never heard of Untuck It. Yeah, take a look for it. Looks like Jerry says, yeah, heard it on the Rally Roots channel, but never saw one. Very cool. Shout out to Rally Roots. Michael S is asking, is clothing an eBay or Amazon thing? If you have new clothing and you're ungated, which means you're not restricted and you can sell it on Amazon, you can sell new clothing on Amazon. But most of the stuff that I'm sharing with you guys here is going to apply to eBay, 99.9% of it. So just want to share with you guys a brand and prove, a lot of you guys might think I know it all, but not even close. There's so much to know. But with the with the opportunity of knowledge here with clothing, and there's so much to know, it does bring it gives you a good chance to make money because people are going to pass things up. I might be in a thrift store and I would pass this up, but you would recognize it, or Rally Roots would recognize it and pick it up. So many brands, so many styles, so many different factors that come into play when it comes to selling clothing. It's just a great opportunity. Now you do have to buy at the right price. So depending on where you live in the country, your clothing may be more or less affordable. Over here in Connecticut, the clothing prices have just gone through the roof, just ridiculously expensive. So a lot of times I'm having to, wait until half off days, or utilizing 20-30% off coupons at Savers, or at Goodwill. We have different colors, and every Sunday the color changes and the price drops by 50%. So you do have to get a little more creative with the pricing, at least if you're in Connecticut. But yeah, cool item right there. Next item I want to share with you is a pretty cool, clubby, kind of hip brand. The brand is Roar, ROAR, like a lion. You're going to find this brand with a lot of, interesting designs, embroideries. I mean, just imagine going to the club. This is like something that you would wear. We have a lot of 3 right here, all size 2 extra large, sold for $50. I'll tell you right now, and I can tell that this seller is new because they only have 2 feedback. I would have listed this probably at like $99. Why? All different colors, really cool designs, 2 extra large, excellent condition. A lot of these are selling for like $30 to $40 each on eBay. Now, again, some are going to go less if you're doing auction or you want to get rid of it quick. But I would have probably done like $99.99 best offer, and maybe even taken 70 or 75. But either way, $50, even if they paid $5 each, and after shipping, they would still net $20, $25 profit, right? Considering they're a seller. This probably not a seller, just given 2 feedback. But yeah, set of 3 men's Roar button ups. Just great brand right here, guys. Take a look at that brand. Does well. No Life 2692 says, hey, Raiken, what's going on? Right now, I am on school break for lunch early before next class. Have you heard of a site called Shop Goodwill website where all Goodwill items is picked over and put on a site to sell? I have. To be honest with you, I've never sourced from it. I've gone on it before, and it just seemed like, I don't know, it didn't seem very how do I say it? Just didn't seem like it was worth my time. But what I want you to do, No Life 2692, is go and experiment and try it out for yourself. I really can't give you any feedback. Maybe there's some people on here who have more knowledge than me with that. But there might be some good opportunities for you. So I would go check it out. But for the most part, I'm buying clothes from thrift stores and garage sales from time to time, but mostly thrift stores. Let's see. AG Video Game says, one day I will learn clothing. I do the same thing for video games. Cool. I just found a bunch of awesome video games at a garage sale last week and some Legos. I was pretty pumped up about it. Michael S says, should I look for specific brands or sizes since I am brand new to all this? Yeah, you definitely want to look for specific brands. I would start with the brand. You can do exactly what I'm doing here. Essentially what I do is I just go to eBay and I type in like men's clothing, long sleeve, or just men's clothing. Then on the left-hand side, what I do is I go under pre-owned, I click that. And then under price, I usually choose a minimum price to go after, because I don't want to see anything that's selling for $10 or less, because I wouldn't want to buy that. So I like to focus on clothing that sells for at least 25 to 35 plus. So what I did is I put 35 in here, buy it now, just because I sell buy it now. I don't really mess with auction. Then US only, so I'm dealing with one currency, and then sold listings. And then what I do is I go and I just study all the different brands. What brands are doing well? What sizes are doing well? What colors? What designs? What fabrics? So I would start there. Best thing if you're new, spend an hour a day going through the sold listings. Now, you don't have to go as broad as I am with men's clothing. even though I am a little more specific going with long sleeve, but you could dive into specifically, for example, long sleeves or jeans or polo shirts or dress shirts and study that. And then when you go to the thrift store, instead of having to like have the, the pressure of going through the whole entire clothing section, which is huge, you just learn one section at a time. So you learn jeans first, and then you learn ties, and then you learn jackets. Jackets are great. I would actually maybe even start with jackets. They're going to cost you a bit more, but man, you find a good jacket and a good brand, I mean, you can crush it. So jackets are one of my favorite items to mess with, but hopefully that answers your question. So Car Wash Country is saying Untuck It, the brand we had mentioned earlier, runs a lot of commercials now. Very cool. I don't have a TV, so I'm like a Netflix Hulu guy. What do you think about buying school brand name jacket or hoodies for $10 and sell it for more? Is that a good idea for winter? It just depends. Depends on the school. Essentially, what I would do is I would go into the sold listings and I would start studying to see if any of the schools are selling. Or if you find one of them at a thrift store, just go into the sold listings. That's the cool thing about this, guys. You can actually like minimize your risk drastically by researching the items on eBay before you buy it. So if you're in a thrift store and you find some type of Letterman jacket, specific school or whatever, or even just a random Robert Talbot, trim fit purple plaid shirt, look it up, do your research. You want to find comparable sales. So you want to find items that are very, very similar to the one that you have in your hand. You want to find 5 or 10 that have sold recently. And then, you want to come to a conclusion in terms of what do you think this item's going to sell for? Once you get the idea of what it's going to sell for, now you have to just backtrack. What's my shipping cost? What are my listing fees? How much time is it going to take me to list? And then you make the decision, is this worth it for me or not? A lot of people, they'll just assume this is cool. This is a cool jacket. I'm going to just buy it for $14.99. And then they go home and they research it, and only one has sold 8 months ago for $39.99. They listed at $39.99, and it sits and it sits and it sits. And they might only have $200 or $500 in savings. And that $15 they spent would have been better off being, used to buy something like, a Vineyard Vines or, one of these Roar shirts that have a market. Vineyard Vines is a great brand, speaking of that. And here's one that sold for $36 right here. Vineyard Vines. I love this brand, guys. I've talked about it a million times. Look for the little whale logo. This is the happiest whale you're ever going to see right here. Okay. Look for brighter colored items. Vineyard Vines is great. Again, look for the logo. Polo shirts sell well. Dress shirts sell well. You'll find sweatshirts, jackets. They actually started by going door to door selling the two founders, Shep and Ian, selling ties. So they're very well known for ties. The ties sell extremely well. But again, look for brighter, more vibrant colors. The checks and plaid style does extremely well. And this is a fine example. Sold for $36. So definitely be on the lookout for this brand right here. Moving on, Ralph Lauren Polo. You're going to come across a lot of Ralph Lauren Polo in the thrift store. Now, I do want to tell you right now, they're a dime a dozen. There's 1,000,001 Ralph Lauren items that are out there. A lot of times thrift stores are going to price them extremely high because it's such a popular brand. One piece of advice I would give you is when you're shopping and sourcing for Ralph Lauren Polo, try to focus on items that are unique. Now, that might not help you right now because you might not know what unique means, but unique could take into consideration color, right? Instead of just buying a bland, navy blue design or colored polo shirt, you find something that has multiple colors and like stands out, like looks like a rainbow, right? There's just one rainbow style Ralph Lauren shirt that sells really well. Maybe the size, maybe you go after a 2 extra large, or maybe something like this. You don't find Ralph Lauren Polo kind of like hoodie sweatshirts like this that have like the little drawstrings with the hood going over the top with the logo. I mean, this is just cool and unique. Now, I recognize it as cool and unique because I have the experience and I've sourced for 5 or 6 years. So I know, so that might not help you that much. But again, go into the eBay sold listings. I feel like I'm, kicking a dead horse here, but it's the truth. Study up and then go out there and do it over and over again. You're going to get the hang of this. But don't buy anything before researching it, especially if you're new. But this is cool. $49.99 right here. A rugby style hoodie, 100% cotton. They say it's vintage. I don't know how vintage it is. That may or may not be vintage. Probably not. Doesn't look vintage, but either way, $49.99 right there. And the last item I want to share with you is a brand called Tendel or Tendel. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but who really cares? Tyndale. These are fire resistant. Well, it's kind of like a fire resistant brand. All their stuff is fire resistant for the most part, I believe. You'll see a lot of firefighters or anybody dealing with fire buying these items. The jeans are very, very popular. Right here, we actually have a lot of 3. These are flame resistant. I don't know if they're hoodies or no, they just kind of look like shirts, but flame resistant. It looks like it's an ARC 8.7, so some type of scale for flame resistance, I'm assuming. But look this brand up right here, guys. Tendel, Tyndle. I've sold these in lots several times. For some reason, these do really well in lots, probably because if someone's wearing them and they're around flames, they probably get damaged easily. I'm going to just throw that out there. But yeah, look this brand up. I've done very, very well with the jeans. I've sold a couple shirts. I think they have jackets. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I've ever sold a jacket, but yeah, just another example of a brand. And you could kind of, see the tag. It's very, very, blurry, unfortunately. But yeah, these are the types of items you want to be selling during the fall and winter. Again, you don't have to avoid, anything that's short sleeve or that might be worn in the spring or the summer, even bathing suits. If you come across the right item, like a Chubby's bathing suit or a pair of shorts, like it's going to sell. It's going to sell even if you're in the middle of winter because it just has such a demand and market value. So, just kind of want to make this video and share some really cool ways and items that you could pick up and sell on eBay during the, fall and winter months to make some cash. There's a lot of opportunities out there. You just got to choose one and go for it and learn it. And you'll start seeing some results. So let me go into the comments. We got Ben saying Tender. No, Tendel. You ain't going to make any money on Tender unless, let's not go there. No Life says the other day I bought hoodie named Russell. Is that a good brand? Got it for $5. Russell is, no, it's kind of just like a basic brand. I would pass on that. Yeah, a couple of people are saying pass. I don't know if it's a Walmart brand or what. But again, for the folks out there, if you find a brand, look it up. But don't just look up the brand and hit sold listings. You've got to type in some more keywords to find something more comparable. So type in long sleeve, type in Olympics, type in the color, type in French cuff. Maybe you've got a Brioni French cuff dress shirt. You're going to want to look at French cuffs versus just the regular cuff to get as specific as possible with what it's selling for. So there's no excuse for buying something that doesn't have a market, that isn't going to sell, because we have the technology in our pockets to pull it out and study and check the sold listings. So let's see if there's any more questions. Fritz says a lot of knockoff Ralph Lauren polo shirts as well. Learn to recognize the real ones. Yeah, usually the fake ones are really, really obvious. The material will feel really, really cheap. I mean, I came across it was a short sleeve Ralph Lauren. It was black, had the little red pony logo on the front. And right when I was flipping through the clothing, I felt this material and it was like so thick and cheap, the material. And you know how like Ralph Lauren shirts always like feel really nice. I'm like, this thing is so fake. And then I looked at the logo and like in the inside, there was like a huge piece of paper attached to it. And it was like slanted. I'm like, this is so fake. So a lot of times they're very obvious. Also, the tags are made really poorly on the fake Ralph Laurens. But yeah, I mean, take a look for it. Go to Google, type in how to spot a fake Ralph Lauren. And there's a lot of guides out there who can help you to determine the difference. Darren, RaikenProfit.com. That's right. Darren says, I'm Ubering while thrifting. I love it. 2018 economy. Darren says, my eBay sales seem to be slow. It happens. You just got to keep listing, keep finding good stuff. Yeah, Go Vegan. What's up, Go Vegan? Says a good polo will have excellent fabric. You're right. Are these brands good to sell on all platforms? I mean, Mostly on eBay. I mean, you could sell it probably on Craigslist or on your local market or Facebook Marketplace. Um, a lot of this stuff it's used, you're not going to be able to sell it on Amazon. So for the most part, I would focus all of this on eBay. AG Video Game says my eBay sales are up. Thank you, Raiken. You are welcome. Yeah, eBay's always messing around with their algorithm and visibility. So it's just something that you got to deal with when you're selling on another platform. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a big shout out. I appreciate you all. We're coming up on 100,000 subscribers. I think I'm at 99,500 or 600. So probably within the next week or so, we're going to hit 100,000 subscribers. So probably going to have a contest, give away some cool stuff. As a token of appreciation for you all. So, I just like to come to you guys with these videos and help out and add value as much as I can. I still remember 6 years ago sitting in the parking lot of the Cracker Barrel in my little uniform, getting ready to go into work, thinking to myself, this can't be it. I'm broke, I'm depressed, and I feel trapped. And I feel like I'm about to get locked in a cage for 8 hours. And I was miserable. And when I found YouTube and I found reselling and eBay and all the different ways to make money, and I learned it and I started having results. Like I was so grateful that I had to share the love with you guys. And, I appreciate you all. So just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Hopefully you guys are kicking butt in your business. And if you guys enjoyed the content of this video, you can hit the like button. That always is a cool way to, show your gratitude. Leave a comment down below, say hello, let me know where you're from. And if you guys are in the Connecticut area or anywhere around here, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, I'm actually holding a thrifting meetup this Thursday. So we've already got like 20 to 40 people going. You never know how many people are going to show up. And we're thrifting all day. We're going out to dinner. We're staying overnight at a hotel. And then we're hitting the Goodwill bins the next day. So if you go over to Facebook and type in Connecticut Thrifting Meetup, you can request to join, and we're having that meetup Thursday. It's 100% free. It's just fun, giving back, enjoying ourselves. So be sure to check that out. But yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching, guys. Smash that like button, show some love, and I will see you all in the next video. Appreciate you all, and talk to you soon. Bye.